Good day, welcome back to another video here on my channel. Today we're continuing Rosefort, and today I've got another time lapse for you, but today we're doing a lot more than we've done in the previous one. So we're starting out with some more work on the walls. I just decided that it would be a good plan just to add in the entire base structure for the wall. So I'm not going to detail the entire wall in this video because that would take too long, but I'm doing basically all the wooden pillars around the entire wall. I'm doing a detailing on a little part of it, but from now on I will only detail the parts where I'm actually working, so that I know where the wall is actually at and how it looks in comparison to the build I'm making at that point. But the main builds for today will be the Druidic Ruins that we have in this town in Rosefort, and the basic structure for the stables. Now I didn't finish either of those builds because I want your feedback on it and maybe some suggestions and inspiration which I can integrate into the build. Now before we head into those builds, this video is the last one I'm pre-recording before the first video goes out. Actually, the first video will go live in about an hour from me recording this, so I'm really looking forward to seeing all the reactions that you give me and which I can use for the future builds. So now we're going to start on the area where I will be making the Druidic Ruins, because I figured that it is a pretty old and ancient religion, so it is probably in many of the lands, or at least ruins will be there. And in the case of Rosefort, I think some of the people actually still believe in the Druidic religion. I think it's pretty strong in this area, but I'm not quite sure about the lore just yet. Maybe you can have some ideas of that for me as well. But I'm still basing most of it on Rohan, combining it with a little bit of the lore for the rest of the world that I'm coming up with as I go. So the Druidic Ruins will be on this hill that you see right now. I'm preparing the area right now, and I'm going to make two circles of kind of stones. I'm basing it on a Stonehenge design, this ruin. So it's going to be really great. You will see in a moment. So I'm first thinking where all the pillars are going to be. So I'm just layering it out so that I know where all those pillars will be. We will start with the outer ring because it's the bigger ring, and this will have some pretty big pillars, and especially the arches are pretty big. But I figured this is an ancient religion. Maybe some magic is involved, but at least I wanted to make it feel grand, and especially since most of these buildings will be relatively simple, because these people have relatively simple houses. It's all a lot of wood, not a lot of stone structures in this place. So I figured that it would be cool to have at least one bigger structure, and that is going to be the Druidic Ruins. Of course, we're going to have some big structures, but most of those will be made entirely from wood, or mainly from wood. So you can see that I did wear it down a little bit, so some of the things are broken down, some of them have completely collapsed. I just wanted to make it look more interesting, basically, because it would be very boring if it would be totally intact, especially because it has probably been here for quite some time. Now moving on to the inner circle, basically the same principle. I'm first doing all the pillars, decided to have all those pillars still standing and most of the arches intact. Not all of them, but most of them, because I figured that this would have been a little bit better protected from the weather. And also it's a little bit smaller, so it's actually a better structure, a stronger structure. So maybe you can give me some suggestions for what kind of altar I would can add in the middle of this, because I didn't add anything in just yet, but I feel like maybe there should be an altar of some sorts. Let me know what you think. Then for the next part, we're actually doing the first big building, but first we're going to map out some of the roads inside the town so we know where what will be. So I decided to go with the path alongside the wall of the Golden Hall first, so that I know that at least there will be a path. And then I decided to have kind of like a square in front of the gate to the Golden Halls, because I figured it's nice to have an open area there, so maybe add a market in order or something. And then the first structure that we're going to do are going to be the stables, because this is based on Rohan. Rosefort will be based on Rohan completely. So these are horse people. So we need a stables, and I decided to go for pretty big stables like you see in Edoras in Lord of the Rings. So that's also where I based this design off, and we're just going to be doing the basic structure just because I wanted to know where it will be, and sometime in the future we will actually finish it up, because I need to get a feel for the style first. I only built some pool houses which are really simple, don't have any detail, so I'm planning on doing some detailed houses next, so I get a feeling for the style of the houses, and I'm actually able to tackle a build like this, which is one of the main structures of the town. But it's nice to see where it's going to be inside of the town, a little bit of planning ahead, so you can see me adding all the right materials for the paths, for the foundation of the stables. And I'm now basically going to make the skeleton of the stables and add in the basic hay roof. I haven't done any details, so if you've got any cool suggestions for the stables, detail wise, maybe block wise, because I'm not too familiar with the Conquest mod just yet. This is actually the first major build I'm doing in the Conquest mod, so any suggestions are really welcome. So you can see me just building up the skeleton and building in the little tower which is in the middle. Again, this is just based on the Edoras tables of Lord of the Rings, so you can check out that design and maybe give me some tips on how to improve on the basic design. So next up will probably be some houses, so I get a feeling for the style. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next week. So bye bye.